Hello, everyone. Today I'm gonna be talking about the big thing that happened last week, and that is, of course, the pew pew of Karel Kurk. Now, I see a lot of people online saying, "Oh, you shouldn't be happy, you shouldn't be celebrating, he was just voicing his opinion." Or, what about his kids? What about his wife? Here's the problem with those points, in my opinion at least. One, once you gather a following of people who is, willing to go out to campuses to see you, not just to debate to you, but to listen to you, because it wasn't just students willing to debate him, there was also people who were rooting for him and listening to him and actually believing some of the shit he said. But once you gather enough followers, right? Media attention and all that, cloud, whatever you want to call it. You take on the role of an example, right? In this case, the example is you should watch your mouth because someone could shoot you in the US. It's a simple reaction. It's a whatchamacallit, consequence, right? It's a consequence. It's a consequence of his own actions because he decided that in order to maintain his growth and his platform, he would spread uneducated hate and encourage bullying, encourage racism, encourage gun violence, going as far as to say he himself thinks it's worth it that people die, including children, to maintain the Second Amendment. Which is ironic, because he himself got shot at a school. But yeah, the example role is one where children and people in general look up to you and the things you say, and the things you do, and the things you show. Now, Charlie Kirk definitely knew that a chunk of his audience, I'm not gonna debate whether it was a loud minority or a large majority, but he knew that a chunk of his audience couldn't really think for themselves, kinda took everything he said as the truth, and were quick to violence, bullying, all that jazz. This man would be celebratory if a trans person killed themselves. This man doesn't give a shit if innocent people die, like I said before. So what then happens is that when Charlie Kirk goes, "Oh, it's those damn trans people, those trans people," that chunk of the audience who can't really think for themselves and have a thought process of, hey, do I actually agree with this or do I not agree with this, and apply logic to that, and maybe educate themselves on the topic with more than just one guy spewing some hatred or one group spewing some hatred, is that they go out and actually bully people simply for being different, for being of religion, for being of color, for being trans, for being gay, for being whatever, right? Sometimes with physical violence, sometimes without it, sometimes online, sometimes in person, sometimes straight up just abuse and assault instead of bullying. So, why should I, as a person who is part of a minority group, that being the trans community, feel bad about a man who would say these things and instigate these things, abusing his role as an example figure to spread lies and encourage people to do these things? not taking any responsibility. I think that's a bit backwards. Don't you think that? I think that's a bit backwards. I think that's kinda like telling someone who was in an abusive relationship, no, you should be upset that the person who abused you and your friends and your group, you should be upset that he is moved to a different country or is out of your life. Let's just say that. Like, that is just a very backwards thing to say. I think people who say you shouldn't be happy that he passed away are quite simple-minded. Don't see the bigger picture. Maybe they don't even know the things he has said or done. They just know he was a public speaking figure. Maybe they didn't even watch him at all. So I think these people should look at the broad scale of things, right? And just take all of that in. Take it in from every side, because I can also make arguments about why people would be sad that he is dead. I don't agree with those statements, but I can understand them, because I understand both points of the view. I just choose one, and my view is my own, and that is that I'm not upset. I was relieved when it happened, actually. Now, I will say that some of the memes that I'm seeing, I think are going a bit too far, where I'm like, okay, you know, this is entering the territory where right-wing grifters would make memes of trans people being killed, and maybe we shouldn't push that far into it. But just simply saying, hey, I don't feel bad about this, or I'm glad it happened, I think that's fine. I think that's completely valid. So, conclusion, if you for some reason, doesn't matter which, don't feel bad about the passing of Charlie Kirk, you're in your right to feel so. You don't need to feel bad about it. You can be happy about it. You can be celebratory. Just do what you want with it, you know? Those people telling you, you can't be happy about it, they're just simpletons. Maybe simpletons is a cringe term. They don't see it. They don't understand it. And that's okay. Because you can try to educate them, and if they still don't, then they will never understand it. This was Ardee. Thank you for listening to my yappening, and I'll see you guys in the next